Welcome everyone to Greatest Media Team's coverage of the Welcome to the Jungle version 9, sponsored by East Coast Metal Roofing. Y'all are here for round 1 back 9, and after 9 holes of competition, we have Dylan Capaccioli leading the way. On the card is myself, Marky Chap, and Dan Brooks Wells, who's also on commentary. Dan, any thoughts after front 9?
Yeah, good front 9, fun, hard course. You got to hit your lines. If you don't, you got to be able to scramble. So looking forward to this back 9. If you didn't catch the front 9, please get over there and check it out.
Yeah, our card didn't really go too low, but we have definitely a much more scoreable back 9. As we start off with hole 10, only about 215 feet downhill. Signature of this hole is going to be a OB kind of swampy area, short left. So you got to commit to your shot from the tee pad. And we have Marky with the box.
Why am I throwing it so hard?
Whoa. You heard him.
Yeah, super committed line there. Didn't really have the speed control needed and have a long birdie look.
I think that was a good tree kick. That was going to hyzer out and be more to the right of where he definitely wanted to. What are you going with here?
My Sky God 4. It's a C-line P2, and this is just a shot I'm really comfortable with. Stand still, just pushing it out flat, letting it fade, and be pretty close for a birdie.
Yeah, executed very well. I'm going with my entropy. Trying to be soft with it. Happy with that result.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting green. These trees on the right side can really prevent a shot around this area, as we have Dylan kind of trying to avoid them here.
Feel like you thought he got that one.
And there's Marky all the way from the jungle, but sticks the landing. I mean,
jungle.
Better than a potential rollaway. So
that's very true. Yeah, didn't even think of that.
Yeah, no 2 meter rule. So he's just gonna have about a 12-foot putt. And wow, look at this, no cut, right to the action.
Pretty
like
golf,
watching,
kinda, you know.
Yeah, it's watching like Pro Tour live coverage right here.
Come on, Dan, don't think about it too much. What's wrong with you?
Oh, first bit of frustration
Yeah.
we've seen from you, and it makes sense. I mean, circle 1 putt on a pretty simple hole, trying to fight back from over par.
Good birdie by you. Yeah, this one feels like you feel like you gotta get it a little bit. And you know, you're the only one picking it up, but we're all good enough. We need to give ourselves like a inside 20-foot look, just like you did.
Certainly. some kung fu there from Marky. I did not even see that during the round. Quite effective.
Yeah.
If he had caught it though, you know, he's on his track to a black belt, but
it's true.
Almost there.
More study.
Yeah, we got hole 11 next. A big turnover and a change from last year. Anything that beats this kind of hanging tree is good. We see the normal basket on the right, which is a pretty good landing zone for this par 4 position. Only about 170 from there down this tunnel, but it is technical. Drops off a little bit behind to an elevated basket, and certainly a more demanding landing zone than meets the eye. So a good change in my opinion.
Yeah, I never got a chance to play the short basket, but when I walked up to this hole, I said, oh, play the short basket and then play the long basket. And that's exactly what you're doing right there.
Yep, I was happy with that shot right behind the short basket, and hopefully we'll just be able to go right around it. Marky trying to go for the late flip and didn't quite get it to turn early enough. It's going to be trouble.
You see Dylan. Dylan's mainly a forehand player. You're going to see him even choose the backhand. I honestly think the forehand line is really not going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah, especially for Dylan, who throws a lot of overstable. It's just not really able to glide out to that. But still, I kind of asked him, why didn't you throw the forehand? He said, I was going to do it until I thought the backhand. So Dylan is always the player to kind of switch it up based on feel, and it clearly works for him.
Why didn't you?
Yeah.
Because that's all you did.
And I saw your guys' lines, and I was like, I want to do that. So I decided to get my echo out and just give it a go.
Yeah, well executed there. I mean, we have 3 birdies on the short position,
Sure
which
do.
is impressive in its own right. But today we're looking for something a bit better. We'll see if we can execute that second shot.
Marky seemed to hit the cameraman there. Just kidding. It's definitely a treat, but I had been told that this hole was not birdied that much last year in the short position, and it kind of surprises me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I remember from doing commentary last year, I believe first round only 3 people in the whole field got the 2. And yeah, agreed. But you can kind of see the specificness of this landing zone. I was just too far right, even though at the basket, to even kind of force a flex shot. And Dan, a little bit of easier angle, but still a very difficult shot. Not really one you'd expect on a 200-foot approach.
Yeah, and that was a good approach there by Marky. Yeah, that was more of like an Anheuser Flex shot I've thrown in a long time. So definitely a tricky little angle. Dylan kind of having the straight route, and he said a not so great word. There's a kid there, but he's being very respectful. Just catches a little early one and more of a pitch up.
Yeah, Dylan there opting for a smaller gap, but for a more direct line that would have probably parked the hole. So just little golf decisions here and there, maybe think about after the round. And I missed my putt there. It's a little short, but happy to hit the cage and just stay for an easy par.
Yeah, it was a good commitment on that putt, because this definitely drops off more than what the camera kind of shows.
Solid hit from the woods there for you, Dan. Carding the 3 on this hole. And moving back towards under par.
Tough one for Mark. Gotta get it, move on.
Right, as we all tap in here, we will transition to another new hole for this year. The old hole, if you've been here, is probably one of the easiest holes on the course. Just a simple hyzer, only about 170 downhill. And this hole is anything but simple. We have the drone flying, a very tight backhand gap. I think most players in the field will be taking a different gap on the left side with a forehand. And will be interesting to see this hole played in a tournament for the first time. Pretty new, pretty uncut. And Dan's up first, going forehand.
I decided to take a gap that's not really there, but it ended up working out. I think when you first walk up to this hole, your initial thought is like, this left gap is definitely bigger, as you'll see most of us take it, and yours gets through as well. But it's kind of a poke and hope once you get to the end of the tunnel. The middle line is definitely tighter, but if you hit it, there's nothing else in the way.
Dylan showing some Dance Revolution on the tee pad. Marky again to the forehand, and
did it work? I think it worked.
Oh, look at
give me some slow-mo. Oh, we got to see the actual shot. Yeah, he catches one. The spin didn't work. Maybe next time.
Oh man, I mean, Marky looking like Lamar Jackson out there hitting those spin moves. Not quite effective enough to miss these defender trees, but we'll see what he's got.
There's a good one.
And I'll tell you what I've got. I've got a birdie on hole 12, which is good for me throwing through that tight forehand gap. And happy to make a long putt after kind of struggling early on. Marky follows it up.
Very nice.
Hopefully some
That's for
Had to be
two?
for birdie. Yeah.
Very nice. I thought he got cut down a little earlier than that, but that was very, very good. The spin did work then.
Dylan will tap in for par, and it's a forehand hole, so I'm sure he's really looking to get it, but it is pretty tight. Almost kind of a hope and pray unless you really hit it perfectly. And still the 3 birdies for that hole. It's good improvement as we head into probably one of the signature holes of this layout. Was in play last year, but completely different from the original 13. This kind of swampy pond area we're going over is all OB until this string of logs that you'll see that we're flying over. And the quirk of this hole is all OB will go to a drop zone, which is the original 13, and far away. I mean, an impressive bogey if you do go OB. So it's a high demand here on hitting the gap and getting safe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my thought on this, I ended up throwing a pyro.
I was kidding at first.
Yes, there's a close. Try not to think about the OB and just rifle one towards the basket. And actually, Dylan talked me into throwing the pyro.
Yep, the Pyro boy is on our card, and wow, it's a great committed shot. A little fast there, but you're just happy to be safe. You definitely do not want to go to a drop zone 250 feet away through a tunnel throwing 3.
No, and you're taking a different approach, probably with a putter. Is that what this is?
Yep, that's my glow P2 there, and I wish I could kind of think of this hole, but from going OB last year, I just know how punishing that drop zone is. So I really wanted to turn it over a bit more, but was kind of afraid of pulling it off my straight line, and ended up staying safe. But big skip off that rock for Dylan. Very committed in line. See if he can show us a highlight putt.
We were kind of waiting for the card ahead of us, so let Marky go ahead and tap in that bird. What a drive.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back birdies. He started off a little slow, but hopefully getting some momentum after those 2 shots, and just off for Dylan. I mean, just a couple of those long putts, he's just almost gone in. Still good putts, just needing the fall for the strokes. There's a good putt right there, Dan. Yeah.
Thank you. Definitely happy to hit that. That seems like a little bit of a deathy one, too, because that starts to drop back off. So, happy with that, and who needs pars?
Yep, I mean, that's what I like to call Ricky golf right there. Wysocki, I mean, he's won major championships not taking pars, so not a bad way to play. I actually, Dan, had one round earlier this year at FDR Fools Fast where I only had 2 pars all round. And they were both dead center. They were both dead center spit outs for birdie.
Oh, no.
So,
oh, man.
Almost had it done in the name of Ricky, but we have our final new hole for this tournament. Hole 14 has now been turned into a par 4 and is only about 80 feet back of the original tee, so certainly will average a lot more under par than the old hole, which was kind of a bonus birdie, but certainly a more intimidating first gap for our players here, and probably brings in a bigger number as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's really just trying to shoot for that first gap. I'm going with my Fission Photon. It got a decent flight before it hit something. I definitely turned it a little bit too much. I think Marky's going with, is this a mid?
Yep, that's a mid. That is the thought space mana there from Marky. Throws that on a good bit of hyzer and controls the fairway pretty nicely. I mean, it's really hard to shape a backhand all the way down there. So just hitting that initial gap as cleanly as he did is kind of what you're looking for.
This looks like a putter out of you, just playing the fairway.
Yep, that's actually mid-range. It's my
Okay.
Lux. It's my Lux method, and I just feel good attacking a gap like this, throwing firmly.
Yeah.
Kind of got a little Heimberg in me in that regard. So see a forehand through this gap, kind of dealer's choice, and just doesn't get past that second level of trees. But,
Yeah, and I know a lot of these guys are going for twos.
Yeah, being a par 4, he should still be able to save that stroke, but see what he can do.
And this is another hole where it is short, it is attackable, but if you land off the fairway, you got to find a way to get to the basket. And that was an awesome tomahawk. Maybe the advice I gave him earlier in the round, when he asked. I'm going to take credit for this shot.
Say. This lands
very well done.
And the landing sticks it very close. I mean, that's for birdie. I mean, Dylan's been playing really well. It's clean scorecard so far, and we have another little overhand here too.
Yes, I had kind of like a little weird angle. I had to throw something that flipped quick, and happy with that shot. Ended up a little bit to the right. That'll be fine for Mark. And this is for your eagle. What kind of a look did you have here?
It's about 45 feet. Just had to miss that one branch. It was definitely in the way, but was kind of small enough where if I thought I could just squeak by it, just to flight a little bit. And man, what a rude spit through there. I mean,
you said
shout out to last Welcome to the Jungle. I mean, we had a very similar thing happen that kind of changed the dynamic on this exact basket last year. So maybe something about this basket, but unfortunate they're going to have to just shake it off going to the next one, I suppose. All you can really do.
You'd think. Good putt there by Dylan. Very good birdie. Well constructed up and down.
Marky, again. I believe that's 3 in a row for him, so at least salvaging this round. I mean, we have 3 rounds out here. That's, not something that a lot of New England tournaments are accustomed to being. This is an A tier for the first year, so if he can get to around even par, Marky loves Meadowbrook Orchards. He plays that course a lot, so you can get something hot there and get that momentum heading into Sunday possibly. But turning back now to our hole previews, we got hole 15 here, and one of the tightest tunnels the entire way down on the course. An initial gap, probably about 50 feet off the tee pad, and whatever goes straight here is gonna be good. Forehand, backhand, but you just got to control the straight flight the entire way.
Marky option for the backhand here. Definitely flipped something up nice. Kind of leaked a little left, but maybe he's far enough to have a putt. Also going with the backhand, probably either a putter or a mid. Gets a little kick to the right. There's a couple trees to kind of deal with there.
I was hoping we get a fall flight of this. This is my Glow P2, just my favorite straight disc. And a little kick to the right. Yeah, it should be in the circle for my birdie look.
And Dylan here just piping his pyro, which is a smash.
No way. We need a replay of this last year because Dylan threw the exact same shot last year, going long, hitting that exact same tree, able to use that tree again. I mean, that's going to be Dylan's tree from now on.
Moving on. Pitch up, move on. Marky does have an outside look here. Snag his 2.
Marky catching fire on our back 9. 4 in a row. I mean, this is pretty deep for straddle putt.
Oh, yeah. Never a doubt either.
Also going to a wide straddle here, trying to avoid this tree. Able to stick it.
Sorry, guys. Gonna have to start frame some other time.
I mean, it's just, again, Dylan's forehand power. I mean, Dan, you got a pretty good forehand, but I don't see you going pyro on that hole. It's just different
Not
level.
anymore.
This is a interesting hole we got here for hole 16. Very unique shape. Kind of goes straight. You really just got to pick a gap. And the elevation on this hole is kind of something. I mean, you're throwing probably 40 feet at least straight uphill. And you just got to get through.
Yeah, and definitely what makes this hard is if you catch one of these trees, which is likely, if I'm being honest, it can really just send you straight back down the hill, kind of what it did to yours there. And that becomes a tough upshot.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what I did to theirs. I threw a pretty hard shot. I'm only about 50 feet off the tee pad from there, so I'm going to have to control something going up the hill.
Dylan taking his Firebird, just rifling it.
He's getting all these little unique reactions, whether they be good or bad. It's kind of interesting to see the catch cam after playing the round.
Danny boy.
That works.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I just got lucky through whatever, you know. That's just I feel like that's what this whole, if I'm being honest, just throw at the trees and hope to get through. But maybe I play it wrong.
No, I don't think that's a bad play at all. I mean, what I think is the widest gap on this hole, even if you throw something overstable, it doesn't really have enough time to get back left just because of the height required to get over the hill. So it's just it's tough to park it kind of going that gap. And I think you did quite well for yourself.
Marky here.
Whoa.
He made it, then he thought he did it, and then it went in.
Here's a little rewind here. I mean, Marky pretty much lives at Circle 2. He loves hitting putts from there. Got a very signature jump putt. And, I mean, that's for par, but still kind of keeping the momentum going.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if that tree kind of...
Yeah, I don't know.
In his head a little bit. He does putt with a lot of hyzer, so I kind of wonder if he was kind of adjusting something. But, Dan, good two there. Take the only one on the card.
Isn't it funny how that works? I was the only one to miss the last hole and then the only one to get this one. That just happens so often.
Yep, and moving on to hole 17, where your theory of trying to miss all the trees is certainly in play on this one. The drone's going to be taking a very specific route that discs don't really typically fly. I mean, getting through all these trees, that is one heck of a flight path. But most players here are going to be looking to kind of go just through the inside gap. And, I mean, the only eagles I've ever heard of are just trying to miss all the trees.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt that with my Fission Photon. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. So I missed all the initial trees, which was great. Caught a late one, and very happy with that, of course, but I think I might have had a shot. Pinning it. Marky here with the hyzer flip. You can get the disc turning, like past all those trees and turning down the hill. You can get yourself a putt for the eagle.
Going with the forehand here, and just a mistake you cannot make is not getting past this initial gap. Just pulled it left a little bit. Kind of my lineup wasn't really intact, but Dylan here certainly has the power to get down, but catches one of the trees, and mean, you can't really say it's unlucky. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you get through, sometimes you don't.
It's down there.
Yeah, and you said it. Need a little bit more angle, a little bit more power.
Yeah, not too bad of a shot there. I mean, should be able to get an easy par, but this whole plan is a par 3. A nice little wave there.
That was awesome.
You know, just
Comment
it's
below, who was
definitely
that?
the mystery man.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely one you want to get down the stretch, you know, after the slow front nine that I had. This is going to be me here shooting 3.
Definitely not laying up, right? You were trying.
Yeah, the best of me wanted to make that putt really bad, but kind of a little bit of hesitancy as it released my hand. And whoa, a little forehand attempt there. Doesn't really slow down. I mean, I hope that doesn't really cost him.
And Dylan's found himself in some small pines. Good attempt. Really tough to get it high enough from that low. Or he keeps the
Chace.
putting rolling.
Yeah, certainly must have trusted it after that forehand run. All right, our exciting first round is going to come to a conclusion right here. Hole 18, very unique hole to finish off on. Kind of an interesting shot shape. You would think it plays more for kind of a backhand flex, but this initial gap off the tee just doesn't allow for that. So we're either going to have to see players kind of force a forehand and play for a bit of a longer putt, or throw something very flippy on backhand.
Let this one go a little high. It ended up not being in that bad of a spot, to be honest, for the throw. Now this line just seems tough to me, this backhand down this gap. And for that reason, that tree. I'm guessing he's trying to go just on, I'm going to say the inside of it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is a unique shot shape for someone like me or Marky who doesn't throw a lot of forehands. Because it's really, you don't want something overstable to skip at the end. You know, if Marky or I go to a forehand, we're normally throwing the FD1 is able to get very a little bit easier. So this time I'm going with an FD1 here.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I know Dylan is going for this higher route because I've seen him do it before. And I think he's looking to just like drop it in and not get that skip like you were stating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should we mention there's an OB parking lot right behind the basket, which does come into play.
It's Dylan. Great run. Yes, it definitely can come into play because there's a hill that kind of rolls off that way as well. So outside the circle look, just a little low. Not happy to end my round like that, but it's all good.
Yeah, still 2 more rounds, and of course we're heading over to Meadowbrook Orchards, which is a completely different track. So we'll see what can happen. Marky, good par save. I mean, that putter really did catch fire for him. Maybe we'll have some momentum for tomorrow.
Here's you to end your day out on a bird. Very nice. That always feels good going to, when you go rest your head at night. I got the last one.
Yeah, I mean, especially on kind of a shot that I don't really throw too often, like a straight hyzer flippy forehand. So definitely good for me, and Dylan will finish as well.
Language is just the whole round. He's so entertaining.
He's certainly a character on the course. I mean, one that our locals know very well. But Dan, that's going to do it for the front 9. I mean, any thoughts about this course and how it plays for an A tier?
yeah, you got to stay in the fairway. You got to pick which holes you want to go for. And ultimately, you got to be a good scrambler. You got to be a good scrambler. And if you're not,
definitely
look out.
Agreed, and it complements our next course very well. So stay tuned for tomorrow's coverage from Saturday. We will be seeing that from Meadowbrook Orchards, so we get a preview right here of the beautiful apple orchard. We also have Disc Golf 978 located on site here. It's one of the premier places to play in Massachusetts. And we'll check in with our card there tomorrow. Till then, take it easy, guys.